Hi, everyone. My name is Georgette Truan. I am the host for Real Talk with Miss G and the Gang. And I have some of the gang with me today. We don't know where Dr. Fowler is. Sorry, with Auntie Barbara is. This is Dr. Fowler waving and Mr. Darren Guai. So, Darren, you want to start with? I sent you guys a lot of videos last night. I know you got
We
them.
did, and I think it did. No, we definitely got them. Did you look at my TikTok stuff?
I did. I did.
All right,
I, but did you
all
see
right.
the video
So
of
anyway,
the?
um,
Okay,
I,
which one do
I,
you want
I
to talk about?
well, I think I would like to touch on the transgender issue, and how they're trying to. I don't know what the intentions are for this stuff. Like uh, they're trying to force transgenderism, I guess, into these situations that they don't belong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like I don't feel like, honestly, that kids that are being fostered out or being adopted out should be going with these families. And I definitely have that feeling that it should be a man and a woman of faith first. That's where these kids should be going. I don't think that these specialty groups, this isn't a specialty group type situation. Like this is about bringing up a young child in a straightforward, um, regular household where a man and a woman is father and mother, and they are under God. I think that those are standards that need to be met when they do these. Like that should come first with these adoptions. It shouldn't be by special interest. It shouldn't be by, um, because someone is their sexuality is at question. I mean, this isn't about sexuality. This is about
Mm-hmm.
functionality as a parent, as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Why this is why sexuality has now become an issue in all of this. I mean, let's just for real, let's talk about this. It's not. This is what we're talking about. Is if they're gay or lesbian or whatever. You're talking about an action. You're not talking about who they are as people or who they are as fundamentalists.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about they choose to have sex with you know different array of partners, and it's become acceptable to the American public. Well, as far as I'm concerned, the children need to be raised in a father-mother household, not broken home, not this, and it needs to go in that direction because we're taking away all of the future of the children. We're taking away the future of the human race, really, because now we're getting involved in these groups that, listen, it's no secret a man and a man can't make a baby, a woman and a man can't make, I mean, a woman and a woman can't make a baby, and certainly someone that is transgender confused, I don't even know if they know about babies. So, like, I just don't. This is they're turning this sexuality into an issue brought into a service that you're taking perfectly good children out of a home and you're placing them with sexually confused people, and it's disgusting. And this shouldn't even be a topic of discussion at all whatsoever. I'm sorry if these people are confused, but when I look down, I have a penis. I'm a man. That's how I relate. I'm not his, her, they, them. None of this crap. I'm what I am, and that's it. And that's the way that our children need to be brought up. You're trying to limit their choices so that they can move forward, and then they don't have. Um, they're not even going to have the right ideals to reproduce. And this is a big friggin' deal. I mean, it's not as face value as people are trying to make it seem. It's not that at all. The human race depends on reproduction. Going to heaven, your key to heaven is a child from a man and a woman. That contract that a man and a woman has to make that miracle. God is still a big player in this game that we call Earth and life. So why people are ignoring this, I have no idea, and why things that are the sins against God and all of that uh, are even talked about over this. Like if we're going to talk about taking children from a loving, nurturing home because the dad had a beer last week, well, okay, that's a great idea. Let's take them away and put them in with a mom, and I have two moms and three brothers, and no, you have one mom, you have one dad, and that's it. The more we stray away from our, the more we stray away from the way that we are as human beings, the further and further we get from the morals that we have lived and we go by, the further we get away from the Bible itself. Because if you start doing this, there's no Bible because the Bible doesn't work for these type of families. And it's actually, if you talk about these type of people, the Bible is very specific on it that it is not supposed to be. So I don't know. Like, what are they trying to do? So you don't hurt someone's feelings. They get to have a kid, but yet mom and dad had a beard. You can't have a kid. It just doesn't make sense.
No, and also what I've noticed
Uh,
about this is that the way that they're teaching the children in school, I saw a book actually that had pictures of different sexual position for kindergartens. I couldn't believe that. I
oh my
literally
God.
couldn't believe that. And we have a case, actually, a lady that called us today, and I spoke with her. So what she did was argue with the school principal because the teacher introduced, you know, that book into the school, and her child is only 5 years old. And she said, I refuse for my child to know about this, and it's my decision, et cetera, et cetera. And then the principal got so mad, and then he called CPS on her. And guess what? Her child was removed from school, and her other 11-year-old was removed from school. She lost both kids because she stood up to her rights as a parent. And the principal told the CPS that she refused. What? She Okay, wait. She neglected the child's. Oh my God, I forgot the words she used. Like she's in the wrong because the child should be able to choose his sex
A
at age
child
12.
needs to learn how to eat and walk at that age. They don't need to be worried about procreation. That is not
Mhm.
anywhere near what a child's vocabulary
Yeah.
should be. It's not anything to do with this. People, this is sickening. This is sickening. This is just about, I'm going to tell you what this is. This is your pedophiles that are getting into high positions in our government places. And think about when you were a kid, you didn't even discuss this stuff. This was mom and dad talk behind closed doors in the bedroom. You
Mhm.
know, I'll be honest. I was never mind that part, but I was raised that way. There's a very sacred thing to be with a woman. It is a very important, sensual. Um, there's so many things for the good side that sex does offer for a man and a woman, or a woman and a woman, or a man and a man, or whatever. See that part, whatever. You guys go behind closed doors, do what you do. But do not try to keep pushing this stuff on children. A child doesn't need to know what a lesbian is right now. They really don't.
Mhm.
Like this just, why is that important to a 5-year-old who, number one, what they're forgetting, has just been stripped away from their freaking parents that loved them very much, being told that these two people that loved them very much abandoned them, and then now they have two moms? No, this isn't right. And these
Mm-mm.
people are on the fast track to getting above on the adoption list, and then now they're transgender. So wait a minute. Now, because you're not a lesbian or you're a gay person, you can call CPS? What the Christ is this? Sorry for using Christ in that name, but like, what is this? What are these people allowing to happen to our future? Like, for real. Where are the people that are outraged about this? Where are they? Are they cowards? Like,
They're
what is the
cowards.
problem? Because to me, it's very simple. It is very, very simple to look at this situation and say it's damn disgusting that you really, number one, for you to be an adult, you're going to go teach a 5-year-old about sexual positions. That is just grotesque in itself. All
Hmm.
right. Just even, I don't even like to say sex with a 5-year-old or around a 5-year-old or whatever. That's just disgusting. And it's very rude. Um, it's very profanic, if you will, towards a child. It's very irresponsible. And you want to talk about neglect? That's neglect. Like, that is neglect. You're not, what, you're not giving a choice? No, you're stripping a child's choice. You're teaching them the wrong goddamn. Excuse me for saying that again, but I'm getting fired up. But that's what's happening here. They are taking away the whole value of a man and a woman and what they're supposed to do, not just for the United States or for society, but the world. Men, it's very simple. Two sticks, together, they can't, it's square peg, round hole. It doesn't work. The reason our bodies are made the way that they're made is for one simple reason. and that is to reproduce and raise our children with love. That's why a man and a woman are created. They
Hmm.
didn't get created to work a job for someone else. They didn't get created to, you know, carry on at the farm. They didn't get created. We got created to reproduce, and we're taking that option away from these children without them even learning or understanding. Like there's, for instance,
Right,
churches. Um, I,
right.
I don't necessarily agree with the Catholic Church when they baptize a baby immediately. I understand it because they're trying to, protect that baby and everything.
Okay,
But
that
I do
that's
feel like
not
it's
the
a good
problem.
decision.
No, 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 no.
No, but what
Baptizing
I'm
is
saying
not
is
the
it's like the
problem.
same thing. It's this what I'm saying. Hold on, Georgette. What I'm saying is there's a choice that a child can make once they're at like 8 or 9 that they will accept God and understand God in their life. So what I'm saying is if we immediately are putting sexuality into a child's face at such a young age, okay, maybe they are gay or they are whatever, but they're not even getting the opportunity to be from square one what they're supposed to be because we're just
Mhm.
taking it away. And it's terrible.
What do you think,
It's
Dr.
just the
Fowler?
choices are
Okay,
very limited for children now.
let's give Dr. Fowler a chance here. We can't hear you, Dr. Fowler.
I beg your pardon. I thought I had myself on off
That's
mute.
okay.
I think a lot about this issue every single day, especially because of my training in anthropology, which compels me every day to contemplate the human family and what I consider to be the de evolution of the human family over about 500,000 years. And something that I want to propose to your panel and your audience is the root problem here has to do with how we shall reform who the child is. It is my humble proposition to you, beloved Miss G, Darren, Barbara, who's absent, that almost from the inception of our nation or at a certain critical point, Americans gave up the sovereignty over their children and their families. We do not own our children. We do not own the rights to our children. We have no treaty of protection of families and sovereign control by God over our children. For generations, your children have not belonged to you. CPS and all of these other agencies coming in and taking Indian children, taking Gypsy children in Europe, taking children all over the world. You see, but some nations do have the sovereign right to their children. So think of it this way. This is a scenario that doesn't have to do with CPS, but I think it indicates the rights over the child. I had a very beloved friend in her 80s. She was raising a very errant granddaughter. The kid was on crack and all this other stuff. She came in and sold her grandmother's furs and beautiful jewelry for crack. The kid was like 16 years old. The police told Mom Bert that if the kid had another curfew infraction or whatever it is, Mom Bert is going to jail.
Right.
They meant it, that they were going to send an 80-year-old grandmother to jail because of the errant behavior of this grandchild who might have been, who knows, gone into, we call it DHS out here, but that really strongly indicates no rights. So I propose to you, animals have rights. I have a friend who's a veterinarian. Some clients of his were found with some talismans or something that belonged to eagles. They went to federal prison because the dead eagles have rights. Do you hear me?
Mhm.
They went to prison for just having some kind of exotic animal parts. Dogs have rights. Everybody has rights in America, but parents.
But parents, exactly.
Show me the parents' Bill of Rights. Sorry, I'm really upset today. I'm really mad today. You guys, I was out here in the city. Yeah, I cussed a few people out. You wouldn't know me. Really, it's coming to the surface now.
Yeah.
We was in there before at different times. And show me the rights of children to their families.
No rights.
So for years and years and years, the things that you brought up, it brought up recollections of sinister school teachers who were mad because their student's mother dressed better than they did, so they called CPS on some allegation. I've seen it. Or a mother with a neighbor who was distressed with her dog. So the child had to stay at home. She had to go to work. When the child was absent, the school called the home and then sent the police and CPS to her home, to the woman's home.
Wow.
So for a long time, we've had the what? Triadic or more agencies collaborating to kidnap children: the hospitals, the schools, and the agency itself. I wish, Darren, and when we have time, since I think of you as our statistician, not to pigeonhole you, but you're really good at pulling out the figures. Maybe we already have some figures on how many children are kidnapped from the hospital. Sometimes I can't watch Facebook anymore. I just saw another story of a young man whose baby was kidnapped at birth from the hospital. And someone on a self-defense advocacy team that I'm working with here, lovely, beautiful, middle-class lady, comes up to me when I was at the legislature's office, and she tells me, yes, my son, who's a big, hefty, muscular, strong, masculine man, fell down on his knees and cried on the floor when his baby was kidnapped from the hospital, when the whole family is at their most vulnerable point of view. And if this can happen to Candace Owens, sorry to use her as an example, but if you hear Candace Owens' story, I've watched Candace Owens, I've watched her evolve, I watched her take her dips and dive, and whether you hate her, like her or not, she has a very substantial following.
I actually love her.
And she has a very coherent and lucid message.
Mm.
And she shared the story where she herself, I believe, is married to a man of British descent who's of noble lineage. He's a titled gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
She's not poor. He's not poor and ignorant. And he's not even an American. And when she gave birth to her last baby, here we go with some minor complaint at the hospital. And here are the social workers for Candace Owens. Not saying that anyone should be protected, but what I would like to have Candace do, maybe with our help, is for Candace to come back and revisit this telling of her experience, because I think that her experience is more compelling than any other of her reportage. And I think if she were to become a vocal spokesperson for this issue, it could really have grit.
I think
And it
so
could
too.
be people. And I think it would also brand her with something really very specifically meaningful now that she's a mother 2 times.
Mm-hmm.
And she can immediately magnify in her mind the magnitude. If this happens to her just almost by a molecule, they left the hospital with their baby. But we can well predict that once the social workers are called into the hospital, you're not going to go home with your baby. And that's why you guys taught me it's so important to grab that baby before there are any, in the case of the lady I described from the participatory defense team, there's a hereditary epilepsy. And somehow, before the baby came home from the hospital, allegations were made of shaking baby syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's shaking baby syndrome, it means that if there's any symptoms, they're symptoms that were incited or brought on. But if there's a diagnosis of epilepsy, that makes the baby what? Much less viable on the baby market.
Exactly. I agree
Now,
with you.
you guys gave me the insight in that and the real analytics. I couldn't put it together like that before. Now I understand more and more and more. You got to get them right when they're born.
Mm-hmm. Hey
You
guys,
got to get them.
I need to share something with you guys. I have a friend of mine in LA. I'm gonna have her come on the show. I need to get her permission. So she is working for a funding agency. My goodness, it is a legal funding agency in Los Angeles County, and I asked her if they can, if she can find out from her boss if they can fund family law cases and juvenile dependency cases. And she said that she's going to have her boss call me or text me rather. And what they do is they fund the case for you if you can't afford an attorney. But I don't know what other states they cover. I'm not sure. Um, she's still, trying to adjust more. So it's kind of like a legal support system, financial legal support system. Okay. Um, like I said, I want to have her on the show, but again, I have to get her permission first, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to let you guys know when the show is going to be, so I can have you guys all tune in and maybe ask her questions, or and see what she can do to help. So this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find somehow ways to get funding for people that can't afford their case. Okay. So you don't have to deal with the court appointed attorney. And this is why I work long hours because, you know, God is assigning people and placing people to help us. Okay. Yay. That should be exciting. So I'm hoping she can fund, their company can fund other states. I'm not
I'm
sure.
shutting my camera off, but I'm here.
Okay. But did you hear Dr. Fowler about Owens?
I'm sorry, what was that?
I'm asking Darren if you heard what you said about Owens. He's not listening. He's not hearing me.
I hear you.
Okay.
I'm right here. I just have my camera off.
Okay.
I don't
God is
understand this.
testing my patience right now. All right. Did you hear what I just asked you?
I'm not sure what, can you say more?
Not you. I was talking to Darren, Dr. Fowler. He can't hear what I just asked him. I
No, I
asked him
found
if
a good spot now. I found it. I found a good spot. Your question.
Dr. Fowler, what you said about Owens is a great idea. Do you think you can get a hold of her? If she's
Oh no, I would have loved to have gotten. You mean Candace Owens? I'm sorry, I
yeah,
kept saying Owens. So
yeah,
Candace
Candace
Owens.
Owens, yeah.
Oh no, I don't know. She's one of many people that I think would be remarkable to bring this issue to. Actually, there's other people. Michael Knowles is also a commentator, conservative commentator, or I guess you would call him a conservative commentator. He's got a
Hmm.
very substantial platform, and right now he's doing a lot of coverage of other topics. I'll just say it has to do with supremacy, and you know what I mean by that.
Yep, yep.
Because in a sense, I'm one of those cowards. I already have enough on my plate.
I think
Alex Jones. We could always have Alex Jones.
Alex Jones. Mhm.
Alex
Right.
Jones.
Yeah,
Alex Jones
Infowars.
is
You know,
another.
he's
Go ahead, Darren. I think he would be another. I guess you would say maybe even more ultra conservative, or maybe even more vocal commentator with a pretty substantial following. He was very involved with the Patriot movement. Is that right, Darren?
yep. He's got a great following, and he's gunning for CPS. He's just been he got shut down by the government. The government shut down his media. They
Wow.
fined him irresponsibly. They did all kinds of things to get him out,
He's been really
and he's just
silent.
proof that this thing is bigger than what people think.
It would be kind of interesting, but I don't know how far it would go. I think of people like Amy Schumann. I'm not too sure about her platform or her news reportage myself. She acts very serious, but I think a lot of her reportage is just corporate sponsored commentary.
Hmm.
It's de-evolved to that. But she's got, again, a very substantial following, probably amongst viewers 40 and over.
Hmm.
But she's been out there a long time. Have you ever watched her?
No. Oh,
Amy
you know,
Schumann, Amy
or
Schumann is more like your NBC, ABC, CBS type of a flash commentator. I don't think she has a standard show, but she's always on those networks.
Oh man.
She's up there like with
Um,
60 Minutes. I've never heard of the Amy Schumann show. Have you, Darren?
no, I don't know, but I mean, what's wrong with using some of these more mainstream? I mean, don't you have any connections, Miss G, with like Fox or any of them people?
I, I can't say that. You already know what I know. Why do you have to? I can't say anything like
I
that on
know.
live. Why would you put me in a
Okay.
Okay,
spot like
well, I
that?
was just asking you if you're. I was just asking you if you had any connections with mainstream people. You're a big heavy hitter here. I mean, we're just little fellas in this game. We're your gang. You're the Miss G part of it.
Okay, but anyways, I'm not gonna reveal who I know. Are you crazy? There are
I didn't
some
say
people that
reveal them. I
don't.
said, don't you have people that we can bring this to?
What do you
Right,
think
but
I'm
I'm just
doing,
saying that you
Darren?
must have some main platforms that we can go to. Well, I know.
Yeah.
Well, then that's good. Then if you're working on it, then that's great.
If
Hmm.
I knew anybody, I would have tapped into them. Trust me, long ago. I've spent a lot of my time being family and kin support and doing child and family advocacy. And in those circles, let's just put it mildly, I'm not very popular, but I'm very well known.
Good.
And that's all you need sometimes.
That's all you need.
All
That's all
right.
you need.
So if you say my name, you'll get tremors. All right. And, and if
Fowler!
you guys don't, I know, and if you guys, I know this is a slight aside, allow me. There's several people that I've talked to lately who are stakeholders. Pardon, sorry, I
Okay.
told you I'm fire truck.
Too much. This is what we get when you're doing the show outside, outdoors.
Okay.
The, okay,
Um,
there we go.
so I said hello to several people. I said my name, and I immediately got, I can't talk to you. It was more like,
I
I can't
swear they're
talk
doing
to
this
you.
on purpose.
Why?
Oh, well, because I have done, you see, this level of advocacy work, and who wants an advocate hanging around and asking questions and asking people to follow the procedures? And here she is again. And even though this area is a large metropolitan area, this panel of stakeholders is very small. People in the quote human services profession
Wow.
or the court system all know each other. So as soon as you make a call, they're going to tell you no, but they're going to immediately make another phone call to find out why you're calling.
Right.
You see, so, and I know this sounds a little bit ironic to you, but it actually amuses me every time someone tells me I can't talk to you. For some reason, it tickles my funny bone. I know it seems very odd and unusual. Like, why would that be funny? But it is kind of funny that people could be terrified
Hmm.
of grandma. Didn't we go for where grandma bakes cookies and, she, reads you bedtime stories to, hello, this is grandma advocating. Gotta go. I can't talk to you.
But you know what? Already, I mean, I talk to a lot of people a day, and I research a lot, and I have a lot of leads right now for funding people, cases and what have you. And my main thing is no matter what we do or say, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be that grandma is guilty, dad is guilty, mom is guilty, the whatever. It doesn't matter. Right now, I need to focus on solutions to get people financial gain to help in their cases. So that way they all have an attorney to represent them other than the court appointed attorney. Because honestly, Dr. Fowler, I look at you, I look at Darren, I look at everyone, and I mean, even people that haven't been hurt by the system, they're next. Believe it or not, this is going to be worldwide, and people are not paying attention to that.
This is what this is cracking into now is the grandparents because they know that this is slowing down with the kids. This is why you're seeing more social services in the elderly now. They're going to do it by taking their property. They're expanding. As far as we're trying to stop them, they are expanding and growing this thing and growing it. That's why it's so important that we try to stop this now because it's going to get too far out of control.
Can you hear him, Dr. Fowler?
Of course, I can not only hear him, but my mind goes again to the numbers of parental grandparents in the country. And I'm not even talking about parental grandparents whose adult children or children who had children have died. I'm talking about the parental grandchildren whose children are alive and somehow not participating or functioning fully up to full capacity as parents. It's a staggering number of people in the grandparent generation who ordinarily would be enjoying retirement and grandparenthood, which is far different than being a custodial full-time grandparent
Right,
of adults who are not even contributing.
right,
And that sector has no civil rights, no representation. You see, so a person like a grandparent who wants to intervene in a dependency matter isn't even assigned a court-appointed attorney because they're not a party. They have to come out of pocket, even
right,
to establish the assertion of rights.
right.
It all ties into the complexity of the families. But
Hmm.
we've had laws for stealing children from their families for a long time. First Nation children who were stolen during the war era, the Revolutionary War, taken and sequestered and anglicized and completely alienated from their families. That was industrial proportion 100 years ago or more.
Right. It's all a setup. It was all designed to fail. We already know that.
When you think about it, where are all the men nowadays? There are no more men. This is why we're going to the LGBTQ. This is why men were sent off to war. We lost our men through World War I, World War II, Vietnam. The men went and fought. The strong men are gone. That's why this has been a plan for a long, long time. This is much bigger than what people think it is. This didn't just
Can
start.
somebody help me? Sorry to interrupt you, Darren, but in concert with what you're saying, I beg your pardon. During my upbringing, the classical upbringing, little girls kind of idealized the man who was uh, slow to uh, slow to anger and quick to reason, but the same guy that could kill a bear with his raw hands or throw up a house in the middle of a snowstorm. You know, and we didn't consider that toxic. We considered that something that was really to have and to hold. Now you have to worry about the guy wearing your lipstick.
Well, yeah, exactly. And then not only this, but think about it. When you were a little girl, what was the worst thing that could be said to you? I'm going to call your father. You know, it wasn't because dad was going to beat you. It wasn't because of any of that. It was because you knew dad was going to be upset and he was going to be the one that did that role. But now they've taken that away from the family.
That's true.
Also.
Oh my God, that's so true. My mom used to say that. Wait until dad gets home. And not that he hit us, it's just that my dad, all he had to do is look at me and I would just melt.
Mhm.
Like literally. I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? That kind of, because he looked at me.
In normal families, we had a balance of power. Even in families that I know where there was corporal punishment, you really wished you could get it from your dad because mom was more vicious. When mom delivered corporal punishment, she loved you harder, but that gave her more rights to assert, her, frustration with you.
I don't like
Whereas dad, well, I'm not validating that or not. I'm just saying that was the culture.
Yeah.
That was truly the culture. You did not want a delivery from mom. You wanted dad's correction because we felt that dads were bigger, stronger, more capable of inflicting harm, but they did not.
No, my
And
mom,
That wasn't.
that's
That wasn't
weird.
no reason to call CPS.
What?
That wasn't no reason to call CPS. No one called on these people because you
No,
knew.
everybody, look, honey, I'm sorry. In my upbringing, everybody had corporal punishment. That was just the way. And I can't say I approve of it or not. I don't think all children deserve it.
See, this is so weird for me because I don't know. I don't know if it's just my family or my whole entire family never strike the child, never even spanked a child on the butt. And the only thing in my family, my dad's side, my mom's side, all my siblings, they all not learned, but they all communicated with the children, meaning, like I told you guys before, it was so boring. to me at the time when I was a teen or a preteen for my mom and dad to lecture me, not lecture me, but tell me what I did wrong, what the
Well,
consequences are. And that was more torture, I
well,
think.
I'm not to overtalk you, Miss G, but we're coming, especially Black Americans especially are coming from a situation historically where we did not have our age grade system intact anymore. And in tribal culture, the age grade system is such that when you're born, you're assigned to the older children just above you, and those children are assigned just above you. You have age grades. Children are kind of clustered according to age, and the oldest children are responsible for the younger children, who are responsible for the younger children. So
Right.
direct corporal interaction between parents and children is virtually unknown because the children are compelled to collaborate and
Mhm.
cooperate with one another, and they're taught by the other children. The plantation experience for everybody destroyed that. And especially there were a lot of families, black or white, who felt that, hey, they had to switch the kids to get the kids to learn. Don't go over there because if you go over there, somebody's going to get lynched. It's dire.
Wow.
So the awakening, you see, and the awareness of the child had to be dire under dire circumstances. That's not an excuse for corporal punishment, but it's an explanation for when the age grade system disappeared.
Right.
But either way, you still had a mother and a father that you looked for, and you had a disappointment that was inflicted on you if you were right or wrong. And your parents would use that against you. Like, okay, I'm going to call your father then. And then you would be scared, or maybe in another situation, it's I'm going to call your mom. But at least something. There was that one parent because she was the disappointment.
He's talking about
in your
family
parent.
life. Hmm.
There was the disappointment. That's what it was. You never had to be hit. There's the fact that you let your parents down. You didn't need to get strucken, or that's even a word. They didn't need to really harm you. You were just so damn disappointed that you upset them and you broke their rules. The people that fed you, clothed you, participated in every event with you, stood by you, so they parented you. That's what I said. That's make parenting great again, because it's not anymore. We have to follow rules established by a society that doesn't know their head.
But we're not talking about, just for the whoever's listening out there, we're not talking about bad abusive parents either, okay? Or
No, I'm just talking about the idea.
Absolutely not. In fact, I'm sorry again, you guys, to interject. In classical American psychology, guess what? From the 40s, psychologists used to conclude that it was better for parents to be more strict with their children and maybe even corporal with their children than it was to be too lenient. That was the conclusion a long time ago. And of course, when we're saying corporal punishment, we're not talking about brutalizing your children. But in one more thing, for Black American families, especially for those who had a northern migration, who had, migrated from the South, agrarian South, to the industrial North, every summer, every family who possibly could sent the kids back down South to get that good old school discipline, to have to get up in the morning and work the fields and do chores and not have all kinds of modern conveniences, and to have big mama and big uncle so and so discipline you too. Just like you're saying with Darren, their authority meant so much that just referencing them and saying, I'm
it's
sending you to
fun.
Uncle
It was fun for me to wake up early and to go milk the. At first, when I tried to milk the cow, my grandma tried to teach me, but it was so icky when I touched her as a little girl. Like, ew, what is this? But she gave me a glove, and it was so funny. And she told me how to milk the cow, and it was just, I loved that life. The only thing I couldn't do was give it to the chicken and get the egg because I was afraid. I can't hold a live chicken until today. Can't do it.
Is that how you drink coffee from the mornings at the farm?
No, well, I learned. Okay, my mom gave me my first Turkish sip of coffee when I was, I think, before I left middle school. I had an exam. She gave me a little bit of Turkish coffee, which is really heavy, muddy, and I drank
Mhm.
that. And man, I was up. I did great on my exam. So I was like, oh God, this is amazing. And then, yeah, so I started drinking it until high school, and then after until today.
Awesome. And Tamarind, you guys, it's just, it isn't going to relent here. We're still waiting for the cars and all the rest. So it's been, and I'm going to have to excuse myself. Blessed Shabbos for you and any of your family members that observe the Sabbath on Friday or any other day that you observe your holy day. God bless you all, keeping you all in my prayers. And Miss G, what I'm taking with me is mindful of your suggestion today is regards the fundraising in summary for family members who would like alternative means or supplemental means to the court appointed attorneys. I love
Yes.
that. I would also like to plant the seed, Darren, especially I want to direct this to you. Can we not establish a Bill of Rights and civil rights for parents?
Well, they just passed that.
They just passed it in Congress.
We still don't, because of what's happening to us right now, the kind of bill that I mean, we're still not recognized, first of all, as human beings with sovereignty over our children.
Right.
We don't.
We're not
That's
recognized.
why our children are taken from us every day because we do not. The only thing we own with respect to our children, in summary, the case with Mom Burke, is the liabilities. Your 5-year-old has the choice to decide on the course of their whole human development, and you do not have that choice. But if your 5-year-old breaks the neighbor's window, you're responsible.
Exactly. Oh my God. Do you see how we are backwards? This country, this United States, are backwards.
Just like in the case of Mom Burke, she didn't have the option of really getting fierce with her errant granddaughter. But if her errant granddaughter went out and committed another crime, Mom Burke has all of the liabilities. That's all we own,
Correct.
the liabilities.
Correct.
How does that work if your child commits a crime that commits CPR? If your child commits a heinous crime, does that fall back on the biological parents?
Yes.
I'm asking this question.
Yes,
I
it
don't know the
does.
answer.
Yes, it does. Not the foster parent, the biological parent.
Of course. Right. So,
But you see, until we have rights, real rights, sovereign rights, ownership and possession of our children, this is never going to stop.
right. No, I agree. This is never. We're all on the right track. We're all on the right track. It's just, everybody, we gotta just, everybody's gotta come to a head,
Right.
because there's plenty of us everywhere. There's satellite groups all over the place. That's why I started that abolish.com website. I want everybody to have one spot where they can, you can figure out what's going on from there. But at least have one spot where everybody can park themselves and say, look, this is all of us. Look at how big we really are. It's very simple. That's why I designed this site. Every group that is out there, whether you're Norton's West End Parents for Civil Rights or you're Aaron's crew of this, that, and this, I don't care who you are, park yourself in that domain at abolishcps.com and make it so. That way, look at how big we are. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of groups. Because a lot of these groups don't even know that other groups exist. There's so much of us, we're all spread out and thinned out and everything. We don't look like a force, but we very easily, you put strength comes in numbers. You put us all together in a spot, and then they can actually look and see, holy crap, this is a real thing. Or maybe that's what a politician to stand for us would need to see, is a way to see our strength in numbers. Because I'll tell you, if you were a politician right now, with this movement going the way it's going, I would come right out and say the first thing I'm trying to do is abolish child protection. You'd be put in office immediately. No doubt.
He said that for any politician that comes along and says, he or whatever, it wants to, who knows nowadays, it wants to abolish CPS, they will be in office immediately. That's how big the problem is worldwide, state.
Amen.
Yeah, it's so
With that, you guys, I'm sorry, I have to go. God bless you. See you until we meet again. Thanks so much, guys. Love you, Darren. Bye. Go.
So
okay. So she's at the car wash. So I have Darren on the phone because he's outdoor and the reception was not doing really well. So I just put him on speaker so he can be with us still. I think so. I have no idea, Darren. I have no
clue. You can hear me and I can hear you, and that's good. And we'll just hopefully we'll entertain some people. But I don't think.
But wait, hold on. Brittany Road. Do they have to Okay. Does it have to be a judge signature on the court papers or a court order signed by a judge for them to continue to detain her children? I was told by Attorney Davis that it has to be a signed court order to remove your child or children from you.
So they call that a wet signature, correct?
I don't know. I'm just going by what Attorney Davis said,
Right.
and it has to be signed by a judge. He did not say with signature. He did not mention that. I'm just quoting him.
Right.
Signed by the judge.
Because I was wondering too how, what we talked about yesterday about the rubber stamping that they do. That they literally stamp a judge's name because they have that authority so the judge really doesn't even have to rule on it. If they think it's imminent danger, they're allowed to sign for that judge. And then the judge is out of it. He didn't have to make that decision, but it's still the judge's signature.
Yeah, but that's kind of weird because how can you be a judge and so basically what is the purpose of a judge? Just sit there and look pretty? I mean,
right.
I don't understand that.
What's going on. I mean, these matters should be in front of that judge immediately. But Ms. G, just like I do, that caseworker can run into that courthouse at 3:45 on a Friday afternoon and be out of there by 4 o'clock with an order in their hand to go ahead and take a child from the home. Now, if this was proper due process and going through courts the right way, would that really be possible without them having their little leniency that they can just fill out paperwork, go do it themselves? Come on, you work in the court system. You know that that's not possible.
It's not possible. But the thing about it is, God, it's so social workers get sued a lot, but they don't care because the federal money is paying those people. When they win a lawsuit, guess what? They don't care. The social worker doesn't get fired. They don't get fired. You know how many? Look at the link I shared on the show. Was it yesterday? Of the appeal court in the appeal court, the social worker literally lied. The attorney for the social workers literally lied. The children attorney. I wanted to get inside my computer and slap her 100 times and tell her to sit in the corner and not open her mouth for a year.
Yeah.
That's how stupid and how conniving and deceiving they are. And also the attorney for CPS, God forgive me, but never mind. I'm not going to even say it.
Well, then let's just talk about this for a second more.
Wow, that's so messed up.
The rules of the guardian ad litem are this, right? So
yeah.
They have to have what, 6 1-hour visits throughout the 18 months or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Right. So you're telling me now in a situation that's very dear to me. So today's 2 years for me, by the way, that they came and stole my daughter. But so in our situation, I will just say this, is that the guardian ad litem, that would be for 10 minutes of my time, 10 minutes in a controlled environment with, the people monitoring you while you're with your child and everything. And then they didn't do anything extra than they had to do to monitor our daughter. So for 6 hours and a 10-minute section with me, they were able to make a decision to tell the state to remove my child and that I were better off with some foster family that they didn't even know from Adam? Come on. This is what we're allowing to make the decisions for our children? And we all just stand there like retards and say, oh, I guess so, man. I guess that's what we're going to do. Like, come on. These people are stealing our kids, and we're just letting them do it. We really are. I feel so ashamed that I allowed my child to be stolen by these people. I let my child down. I am not a father to her because I wouldn't have allowed this to happen. I would have done everything more in my power that I could have. And that means doing other things. They stole our kids. They are stealing our kids. And we just stand here and say, well, I don't know. What more is it going to take for the people in the world to say this got to stop? It's just crazy.
I know, baby. I know.
But we're going to allow this judge, or these people, a 16-hour trial with people lying and everything. And at the end of it, we're going to say, yep, terminate the rights. Because the dad fell down one day and he had a beer bottle in his hand because he picked it up from the side of the road. The stupid things that they're trying to proclaim are child abuse, but the real children that are getting abused are dying. You know why? Because they don't do anything about it. These people that have 15, 20 calls on them and everything, they're not going to get them. No, that's why they're dying, because they're not doing their jobs. So as long as they keep stealing good, healthy kids from people, and they keep moving these numbers around, everybody's like, look at a great job they're doing. Yeah, until they come into your community and they take your kids, and then it's not going to be so great. And that's coming for everyone here. And if it's not going to be your children, it's going to be your grandparents. Believe me, if they don't get a hold of this division of family services that they have, think about that. The division of family services, we're all doomed. We're all doomed, and we'll stop at nobody because the machine is running itself. And they're going all around the gamut. They're creating the criminals, so in the middle of their life, they're in jail. There, they got the money from that, didn't they? As a kid, you were a foster kid. As an adult, you're in jail. And as you're older, you're going into an elderly home. Boom, boom, boom. 3 hugs and a card. That's what they call it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There it is. There's their plan. Pretty simple.
This is
You know?
so sad.
This is
But
what
you know, NL, and not, I can't say the name. Anelzer, I hope I said that right. Wrote CPS are legal kidnappers. Exactly. Legal. Legal. United States legal kidnappers. And what you guys don't also are missing out on is that a whistleblower also mentioned that it's all over the media as well and the news, but of course not the other news media, you know, only one specific news mentioning it. It's, you know, this person said that the Department of Children and Family Services are in connection, and the White House, Biden, is in connection with the cartels. So, and this came from, I think it was one of the Congress said it, and an ex FBI agent. He's no longer an FBI agent, but he said it, and that's why Biden opened the borders. It's an open border because right, and this girl was 8 years old. She had 76 different DNAs in her.
Oh my God.
She was raped by 76 men.
Yep.
They tore her apart.
Yep.
And she was marked with a band specifically colored, different colors, to be like she's the possession of the cartel. And usually the cartels, when they want the parents, they will rape their children.
Yeah.
All the cartels would rape their children and put a band, different band color on them. And Biden, with his dumb self and his vice president little roach crap, are laughing. I hate the way she laughs. It bothers me. Like, what is this? You're dumb. You're all stupid. All of you guys are foolish. You're dumb. And I don't care what college you went to. I don't care what degree you have. You're stupid. You're stupid. And it's so dumb. It's so freaking dumb. Even Nancy Pelosi on the phone before January 6th, planning it. She was planning it on the phone. They literally recorded her butt. Thank God somebody there came to their senses. And the media literally don't want to talk about it.
No, we'll leave that alone.
We'll leave it alone. It's Nancy Pelosi. She's a Democrat. Whoa. That is so sad. That is, to me, that is sad. I swear I regret every vote I did growing up. I regret it with all my heart that I was a Democrat. I was stupid.
It's the right or wrong.
No. I haven't found one good Democrat yet.
No. I mean, you're not going to find one good politician other than Trump.
Well, you know what? Trump at least spoke his mind. You guys might not like him, and I don't care because I used to not like him either. But then that man made sense to me after I saw the corruption of the Democrats. And I was like, oh my God, that's what he said. Oh my God, that's what's happening. It's like I started putting 2 and 2 together, and they're literally destroying the country. But because Trump couldn't keep his mouth shut, that was the problem.
Yeah, they would. Do you know he had 5 assassination attempts a day on him that he would have to leave the White House or something? You know what? You know why they do that to a president? Because they're talking too much.
Yep, he's revealing too much. He's revealing too much. There was no cahoots with Russia. There was no such thing. It was all a. He made a comment. I think it was about Russia. If you're listening, blah blah blah, this and this and that. It was because a comment that Hillary made. You know, so they kept pushing his button, pushing his buttons, but he's not in cahoots with Russia. He really isn't. It's all.
Right. It's a lot. Look at Jennifer Flowers. She just had to give Trump the money back that the court said that he had to pay her. Because that was another lie.
She gave him the money back.
Right.
Doesn't that tell you something? Because she doesn't believe. She literally gave him the money back. So what does that tell you?
Mm-hmm. If people in this country really think that Joe Biden could muster up enough votes to beat, listen, I've been to Trump rallies before. They are wall-to-wall crazy people that love the United States of America. Packed. And if you're going to tell me that Joe Biden is getting the same amount or got the same amount of people to come out and vote, you are just as stupid as the next one.
That's
that
right.
was a rigged election, and it was all because, and if think about it hard, it was the pedophiles against the average person, and they kept him in. Once Epstein went down, then Biden, look at before the election, all these videos coming out about Joe Biden, Creepy Joe, all this. I mean, literally touching kids on front of national television while they're signing bills. He's rubbing a little 7-year-old's chest. You know, all of this stuff. I mean, it's not very hard, and that's what this has all been about. It's about the trapping of children.
But wait. Do you remember when President Trump was hugging his daughter, Ivanka?
Yep.
I mean, is it Ivanka? I forgot her name.
Yes.
He was hugging her, and his hand was not even behind her, like under her, like where her buttocks is. It was on her waist, and then the media said, "Oh, look, he's grabbing her butt." And then another picture, she was sitting on his lap when she was 12. And they said, "Oh, look, she's sitting on his lap. He's doing sexual stuff with his daughter." And I'm like, wait a minute, I sat on my dad's lap. I was a mother and married. And I would sit on my dad's lap and kiss him and hug him. I would sit on my mom's lap and kiss her and hug her and maybe tickle her because she was so sensitive. I would tickle my mom. So it was, I mean, for God's sakes, those are your parents. Like, what the hell are you talking about? And to me, it's like a lot of Americans believed it. But what Biden is doing, whispering in women's ear, little girls' ears and blowing on their neck. Are you kidding me right now?
It was disgusting.
You don't see girls, like little girls, moving away from him? I mean, even adult women are moving away from him. Right. And his daughter was afraid to take showers because she was scared he's gonna walk in on her again. Her diary leaked out. It's out in the open. Doesn't that tell you something, America? And you're still voting for this idiot? You're still supporting this idiot? He should have zero support at this point. Zero. This is so ridiculous. Zero. Because all these people from the borders, all the children are being raped until most of them die.
No, listen, this is what needs to be brought to light about this. There's a documentary that's on YouTube. I don't know if it's there anymore or not. It's called Through the Eye of a Devil. All right? And I warn you, I triple warn you that to watch this, be prepared. And what it is it's a documentary on the runners for some of the Arabic princes and things that would come to the United States to buy the children for their pleasure. And the runners talk about how it happens, what happens to them, so on and so forth. And if you don't believe what we're telling you, or watch that YouTube video. If it's still even on there, I haven't seen it. I couldn't even watch more than a quarter of it because it tears your stomach. What is really going on with these children it's not just that they're not going to the right families. We're selling them to people to do organ harvesting, to be raped to death.
This came from a nurse, by the way. A nurse also said that. A nurse said the same exact thing when they took her child into foster home. The baby, she noticed that they took one of the kidneys of the baby.
Yeah.
And she noticed the cut around the back of the child, and then she's like, "Where is my son's kidney?" Literally was like, "What happened to my son's kidney?"
Right.
So there you have it. You guys have no idea what goes on. It's deeper than you think. This is not about your 15 years ago crime you committed. This is not about your that you've done weed like when you were 20 or 16 or whatever the hell it was. Has nothing to do with that. This has a lot to do with the age of your child and how bad they want that specific child.
Yep.
And they don't harm they don't take hurt children. They don't take abused children. They don't. What about the 8-year-old that was locked in the closet for 6 years? She would come out only when the stepfather and the mother want to rape her. She was raped so hard by her stepdad from the anal and the vaginal area. So freaking hard. Daily for 6 years.
Yep.
Until her facial changed.
Yep.
6 years.
It's absolutely disgusting.
And so many reports were made by neighbors. And guess what? Social workers, unfounded. No, you pieces of...
Yeah.
It wasn't unfounded. You just didn't want that damaged child. You didn't want these damaged kids because you ain't getting shit from them. That's how you think. But you don't see them as humans. You don't see them as value. You see them as nothing. But then you move towards the good, healthy kids that you need to take from. That's exactly what you guys do.
Yep.
And state, county, and it's from the White House under. So don't ever, no one can ever tell me that I'm wrong on this. Ever.
No.
Ever. Because all of a sudden the cartels are here in California in numerous, not like big, huge numbers. Huge numbers? Are you kidding me right now? They're going to California homes, killing people?
Yep.
Wow.
To the country with the strongest military in the world.
Why?
They can break our borders.
There you go. There you go. Isn't that what Trump said? And everybody's like, he's prejudiced. He's prejudiced. He's against Latinos. He's against the... No, he's not. He's not against blacks. He's not against Latinos. He's not against anyone. The only thing different about this man is he spoke his mind. He spoke his mind. He spoke the truth that no other politician would ever speak. That's why I would vote for him. Unfreaking believable, America. Unfreaking believable. How a lot of us are so dumb. It's like common sense is not in them. It doesn't even exist. Do your own research. You Biden supporters, do your own research. Wonder why your children are being taken from you. Do your own research. Who supported Hillary Clinton? Who? Think about it. All the judges and all the social workers in the counties are all Democrats. They do not vote Republican. All of them are Democrats. So y'all need to think. Y'all need to do your own research. So that way you know who the hell you're voting for. And remember this, when Trump was in office, we never had gas prices problems.
No.
Everything was improving. And guess what else? Trump was all about family reunification. That's all he cared about. And let me tell you something else. My whole church community are all Republicans, and let me tell you why. I was the only Democrat there, by the way. I was a black sheep in the family. And you know why? They want to denounce God and they want to stop Christians from buying Bibles because they're all Republicans. In the Coptic Orthodox churches, they're all Republicans. And like I said, I was the only one, and I couldn't understand why every one of them is, and I'm not, because I was taught in school in California that that Democrats are for the people and that Republicans are only care about money. That's it. Yep. But that's how I was brought up. That's how I was taught, I mean, at schools. So I thought everybody else was wrong and I was right.
Yeah, you read a little book that'll tell you the history of the Ku Klux Klan started right with the Democratic Party.
The Ku Klux Klan started with the Democratic Party. That's how it started. The Ku Klux Klan started with the Democratic Party. Yeah. So do your own research. Don't go by what your teacher is telling you. Don't go by what your stepmama is telling you. And don't go by what your stepdaddy is telling you. You know why? Because when a man is being attacked that much, or a woman being attacked that much, is because they're speaking something right. They're saying the truth. That's why. That's a fact. And let me also mention this to you guys. If I freaking said the Democrats are shit, I meant it. And I was a Democrat for over 30 years. Oh, so, guess what? No. My friends were celebrating when I told them I will never vote Democratic again. They were celebrating with me because they couldn't believe that I actually came to my senses. So anybody, any of you that can actually sit there and say, how can we make a difference? Well, guess what? Your own actions, your own thought process is what ruins the country. Mm-hmm. Your people are against a man that wants to reunify family. Trump is all about family. The way he talks to his son, Banner, what's his name? Banner? Barron. Yeah, Barron, yep. Barron, when he was little, he would go to his desk and he would tell Barron, okay, when you go, he would give him school money or whatever. And he would say, okay, no drugs. Drugs are bad for you. Smoking is bad for you. Drinking is bad for you, et cetera, et cetera. Somebody was making fun of him on that video, because he's teaching his son not to do those things. And of course, I had to write my comment. I had to write a reply to this idiot and give him a piece of my mind. How can you make fun of a man that's teaching his son the right way? Drugs are not good for you. Alcohol is not good for you. And smoking is not good for you. So yeah, he's teaching his son correctly. He is right. Yep. And people don't understand is your kids' friends are the ones who screw them. The friends your kids hang out with because you're so busy clubbing, or you're so busy, hanging out with your friends and drinking buddy and watching sports. Your friends are hanging out at people's homes you don't even fucking know. Yeah. Because you're so fucking stupid to think about who the people are that your kids are with. And that's how fucking sad America is. I never had a fucking sleepover at anybody's house. Ever. No. But you guys, what do you guys do? You pass off the kids for convenience. For convenience, just pass them on. Yep. Pass them on. In the meantime, you pass them off to someone that's supporting a pedophile. There you go. Supporting a pedophile. So, all these Americans out there who keep blaming Trump for everything, why didn't you look at your own self? Look at your own self and what have you done for your community even. What have you done for your country so far? Because see, the truth hurts people. But I grew up, my mom and dad always told me to speak my mind. Speak my mind. And don't ever lie to hurt other people. Because whatever you do to others will be done to you.
Correct.
So, speaking the truth will be like my dad used to say, I would be attacked for speaking the truth. I see my dad was bold. My father, I take from my dad more. He was bold, but he had an amazing heart. He will never not help somebody. He will never not feed a homeless person. My mom used to bust her ass in the kitchen feeding the homeless. Literally, daily. And the whole damn street knew it. Knew it. They respected my parents. But my dad would stand up for what's right, and he would defend the weak. So let me just tell you exactly. I am a product of a very strong family foundation. So yes, I speak my mind, and I respect Trump for speaking his mind, and I respect DeSantis for putting idiots in their places. And you know something? You guys, not all of you guys, I'm talking about the rest of the Americans out there that think this is crazy. Do your own research from the beginning and find out where the Ku Klux Klan or whatever they call them started. Where, when, who. The Democrats are demonic. And there's a reason they're called Democrats. They're demons. They're demonic. And I have no respect for either. None of them. None of them. And look what the speaker of the house, whatever her name is, the one, the African American girl with the curly hair. What's her name?
Oh God, I don't know.
I forgot her name. But anyway, she was saying the other day that, if anybody says anything to the LGBT, they're gonna be in jail. They will have a fine, $45,000, something like that. I'm like, that's because you're a lesbian.
Right.
And that's why you're supporting them. Because you're a lesbian, sweetheart. But guess what? If you have a vagina, I'm going to call you woman. If you have a penis, I'm going to call you man.
Correct.
How stupid are you? How freaking stupid are you? To say that you can be called a woman and you can be called a man. That doesn't make any sense to me. It makes absolutely no sense to me. I respect you. I respect whatever you choose to do. If you're gay or lesbian, that's fine. That's your choice. But don't force me.
Right. You are not equal to a man and a woman.
Exactly. Don't force me to change my belief. Exactly. That part.
The most powerful unity that this world has.
Yep.
Between a father and a mother that are in love, they will create the miracle that God intended to have happen. And
like, just let me tell you something too. I have a gay friend since high school, and he's still my friend. He even objects to that. He even objected to that. He told me, he said, you address me as a dude because I still have my penis. That's what he said to me.
Right.
So how are you going to force people? Now I didn't even know what to address people anymore. What do I call you? It?
Yeah, it, them, they.
And then what? You're going to go steal people's children because the mother, her belief system is different than that? So you're going to attack mothers and parents and take their children because they believe different than that?
Yeah.
How stupid are you? I mean, you have to be stupid to do shit like this. You got to be stupid. A cat is a cat. A dog is a dog. A bird is a bird. A horse is a horse. A cow is a cow. What are you going to call a horse? It? I mean, And a man is a man and a woman is a woman. A child is a child. Female child, male child.
1 plus 1 isn't 4. 1 plus 1 is 2.
Exactly.
Man,
Exactly.
woman,
So how are you going to come
that's
and
it.
impose your stupid thoughts on people that don't believe in your thoughts? But they respect you. Do your shit. Go ahead, live your life. I'm not the one to judge. That's not me. But
Right.
but don't enforce your shit on me and my children. That's how it should be. But there is no freedom of speech in America. Even though we have it, where the hell is it? If we can't freely speak our mind, then what the hell do we have? Absolutely nothing. If they're gonna have more power over what we say, wow. And we make fun of Russia and this and that, Middle East and all that. That's bull crap. It's all bull crap. But anyways, I have to end the show. Gotta go.
All right. Well, thanks, Miss G. I love you.
Love you too. Bye.
I'll see you tonight.
Okay. Don't forget to join us tonight at the prayer show at 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And God bless you guys, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.